Hey everyone out there, welcome. Today another special episode. It is about perspectives again, other perspectives of the music industry. You know my perspective here in the studio, building everything, doing everything, daily vlogging me as a DJ and producer. It's all here on this channel. Today it's about someone else and his company. It's a label, a quite big label. I'd say one of the biggest success stories I know of in the modern music industry. It's a label that went from zero to hero in a couple of years. So while I was at ADE, I interviewed Jan Henrik. He's the founder, the owner of Soave, and two of his artists. One of them a singer-songwriter, the other one is a DJ and producer. Their perspectives onto the label, the entire scene, his perspective onto his label, how he evolved everything, how it's doing, some tips and tricks to young music producers out there. So let's get started with Jan.
The label was started, I would say, about 6 years ago. It's hard to give a certain date. It all went very smoothly and organically. So I wouldn't say there was a really frustrating side to it. It was always a bit of a surprise to me how much potential there was and how many possibilities. Basically just kept doing what I was doing, but then added more things, try to find out what more we could do to help artists to push songs. And every time we tried something new and it worked, we kept doing it. Well, I'm saying we, but of course it was just me at the start. But at some point you find people to help you with certain tasks and then it grows. So Soave has over 2,000 songs in its catalog now, made by thousands of artists. We've got a lot of returning artists, but also every song has several artists on it. So I couldn't even guess how many we exactly have, but there's, yeah, as I said, hundreds, thousands of people we work with over the years. And of course these songs are generating lots of streams. I think on a daily basis we must be doing between 5 or 10 million streams. I know that's in the billions already in the total over the whole catalog. So that's, yeah, that's been done by a team of about 20, 25 people, depending on how you count. There's a lot of A&Rs, there's engineers, there's people doing the marketing, and it's growing every month. Spotify was not the reason we came into existence, but probably the reason we got to become a real label, because we started out as a blog and a SoundCloud channel. And when we made the switch to Spotify, that's when it really took off and we're really able to help artists not only get recognized and get an audience, but also get paid for it. I think that's a really big difference. For us, it meant that we could do it full time, we could grow a team. But it also means that artists making a song that before was just getting free downloads on SoundCloud now actually get the royalties that we try to maximize, of course, by maximizing the streams. The biggest challenge for us now running the label is to take it a step further and to not be so dependent as we are on Spotify playlists, which will always be our backbone, but also being able to offer artists a proper audience outside of that and really take them to the next level. And that's what we're really trying to do this next year. We've had artists that have been working with us for years that we've seen grow up to a certain point. And at this point, really the next step for them is to get into radio in their country, to be playing shows, being played by other DJs. And these are things that obviously just focusing on Spotify doesn't give you. So we're really trying to build the team in the way to get some experience in, try out new things, and really help artists to take that extra step also on top of the Spotify thing. I think the main difference between us and more established labels is that we grew up in the Spotify area, we were enabled by it, but we also used it because me personally, I'm very much a curator. So already from the first thing that wasn't even called Soave, but was a music blog, I kind of switched to Spotify creating playlists just because this is a passion of mine, creating playlists, sharing music in a way that other people can use it more easily, discover similar music. So even while we were already a label, that was not even the main focus. I just really wanted to make playlists for people to enjoy and discover new music. And I think that's why this has always been at the heart of our company. And yeah, a more established record label is just first of all about pushing songs, building artists. And playlists were never a part of that 10, 20 years ago. So they really had to find a way to work this within their business model. And some are getting better at it and some still seem a bit lost. So as a label, we try to help our artists to develop in a broad sense, but it also depends on the artists themselves. We have artists that are very happy just creating songs, getting royalties from them and living the life as they do. Other artists are really ambitious and definitely want to be up there on the Tomorrowland stage as soon as they can. And then what we try to do is see how we can already get this started now. Also, we want to tell artists that this is not something that guaranteed going to happen, or it might take way longer than you think. So we try to look at ways to actually build fans, aside from getting plays from Spotify, which builds fans, but in a very slow way. So what's our focus for the next years is definitely find real fans for artists that grow in a faster way than they would do with just Spotify plays. So far I would say we've mainly been growing the amount of artists and releases that we did, which is also because we really want to include a lot of good artists into our family or label. But we now want to focus more in depth with some artists, and we really want to give artists the tools to start building their career outside of Spotify, try and find fans for them together, get them played on radio. It's going to take more time and also more manpower from us, so we have to grow as a team as well, bring expertise in. But I think that's where we have to be now for the artists to grow even farther.
It's really amazing how one person with enough hustling dedication can build up almost like an entire empire. And I think the future is even brighter. I think Soave might be in the future the new Sine or something alike. I just wish them the best. Now let's go on to the perspective as part of the label of a singer and songwriter.
So I came to find out about Soave actually through DSP, Spotify. I was looking for indie labels at the time, and they had amazing curation. They were making house music that I really enjoy, like tropical, the lighter style of house, a lot of lounge music. And I actually reached out on Facebook Messenger back in the day, and I said, hey, I've got some songs. And I think Jan replied, who's the owner, and said, like, it's almost there, not good enough. And yeah, just I think 2 months later, I sent them something else, and it worked out really well. And I really like their ethos of, unlike other indies, they release music they actually like, and they don't just mass release to play with the DSP farming market, which I really respect. You know, they're very honest, and even you can be the biggest artist in the world, and they'd still, you know, critique you and say, yeah, this needs to be better, this needs to be better, which is a great trait to have as a label. I met Jan for the first time about 2 days ago. In person, but I've known him since, I want to say 2018, you know, talking online, you know, messaging each other on WhatsApp or whatever. And yeah, he's not as intimidating as you think he is. He says a sort of giant teddy bear, but I respect the fact that he really values the music they put out on Soave, and it has to be of a certain standard, and you can hear that in their releases. And although he's played the DSP game phenomenally, you know, his Spotify power is amazing. He doesn't abuse that. He could release 500 tracks a week, and he doesn't. He chooses the best ones and then goes from there. Within Soave, I'm mainly just I'm a go-to vocalist for a lot of songs. So if they need a vocal they think I'll sound good on to be recorded, or a cover, I can do that. I also just send Jan and the other A&Rs top lines, which they find maybe an artist needs, you know, on their roster. So it's very much a kind of back and forth sort of exchange, which is nice. Jan and Soave are pushing my music, so we released a cover that now has over 100 million streams on Spotify, and he really believed in the song and pried it for us, and he's very informative. He tells us how he's pushing it, you know, in which avenues he's taking it, which I really respect. And Jan's very honest with me, so he'll tell me when I send a song, you know, if it's good, if it's bad, and that brutal honesty is great, because a lot of people, you know, won't say it like it is, and Jan will. So Soave actually organised a writing camp on the Monday and Tuesday, which was the first writing camp, and it was amazing. They got lots of people I've wanted to work with, who maybe I had worked with before, in a room, and it was very well organised.
And then last but not least, the perspective of a DJ and producer that is also part of the label, and also some tips for you guys out there if you're interested to submit demos to the label.
So my first contact with Soave was actually, I saw a live stream of them on Facebook where they were checking demos. And I was producing music, I was taking a break, and I saw them on Facebook, and I was like, who are these people? Oh, they're from Rotterdam, like the Netherlands. So actually I sent them a mail with a demo I just made. and we got in contact. The first time I saw my song being actually streamed more than a couple of times, it felt really great actually to know that your music is getting heard by everyone around the world. And it's such a lovely feeling, and also because it really motivates you to like make more music for the world and release it actually, instead of just making it. So my life changed actually after releasing with Soave in a way that I got to know the music industry more, and they helped me out with a lot of stuff that a young producer like me, I was like searching for information I didn't know that was there. So they helped me a lot because I live in the Netherlands, they are from the Netherlands, and they took me with them and just helped me out with different things, and got me growing as an artist, and also got me making me more professional. So the first time I was actually meeting Jan in person was on a day we were shooting a mix session. So many artists came there to do a session on the rooftop of the headquarters, Soave, and I just went there during the day to get to know each other and chill out a bit, and it was pretty great. We had a great connection, and since then, every party near in the area we go together. You know, ADE, we do a lot of stuff together, so it's great, man, yeah. What makes Soave special for me is like, I know them the best out of all labels. I've worked with other labels too, but like, I met them in person, they bring me to parties, they book me for parties. We have a more personal connection, but for like people who don't know them that personally, I think they have a great power on Spotify. They have great label, great playlist pushing. And they know, like the A&R knows where your song fits in Spotify. So it really helps with, and Spotify is a huge player in the music scene. So I think that helps a lot for Soave, yeah. So if you want to become part of the label, I have only one big tip, and it's really cliche, but stay who you are. Like, don't try to make music in a way you want, who is not yourself, but you want to achieve. Just make what you like and master it. And that's what they hear. They're open for any genres. You just have to master it, and that's the most important.
And that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this insight and perspective of some other people that are part of the EDM world. I'll try to make a video like this every month to just give you more insights, more perspectives, because there's just so much I can tell you, and I've done all of that already. So I think it's interesting for you and also for me to just look into other people's work behind the scenes. This one right here being a very successful young label, which I think is really interesting. You can learn a lot from them, more than from some of the big established labels, because they're also just playing catch up in this new evolving music market. Anyways, let me know if you're interested. Who should be next? Label, management, behind the scenes people. Just leave me any kind of suggestion down below in the comments. See you again here on this channel very soon.